All right, everyone. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We know that you all have busy schedules, so we want to make sure that we get you guys out of here on time. My name is Maria Ansaldo, and I'm one of the advisors for the Class Student Success Center. I'm also the Retention and Graduation Specialist. And here today with us, we also have my co-facilitator.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Karkma. I am a fourth-year political science major, and I am the Student Success Ambassador for class. And I'm very excited to help you all today.
So we will both be co-facilitating the workshop. And just a couple of things, just please make sure you mute yourself throughout the presentation. Feel free to use the chat area to ask any questions or make comments. We will do our best to look over the questions. And then just one more time, I just want to say thank you for making time to be here today. We know your time is valuable and appreciate you wanting to grow and learn. So today's topic is communicating with your professors. And before we get started, we do have a question we want to ask all of you. And we just want to know, because we know that this is a tough, a topic for a lot of students. So we want to ask you, what's the first thought that comes to mind when you have to meet with your professor? So just make sure you type 1 or 2 words in the chat. Yeah, so I'm reading just a couple of things here. So it can be intimidating. Some students tend to get nervous. Someone said, oh no, professionalism, anxiety. Definitely, I keep seeing the word nervous a lot. A lot of anxiety, definitely. And so, I just want to validate the fact that, yes, it can be a little intimidating. You can feel a little bit anxious, but I think by getting the right preparation and by coming to something like this today, like this workshop, hopefully you can feel a little bit better. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so as you all know, we're in a virtual environment now because of the pandemic. So before the pandemic, this was important, and even now more so, it is even more important. So proper email etiquette is the best way to start developing a good relationship with your professor, and it shows a level of professionalism that you have. And if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns that you want to go talk to a counselor about, a professor about, email etiquette, email is probably your best way to start. So, some basic tips to make sure that your email seems professional, to the point, and, respects the professor, just start up with a good, proper introduction, and by title and your name. So, dear, good morning, or hello, Dr. Professor. Provide context, so state the name and which class section you're enrolled in. So if you're asking about a specific assignment, remember that professors sometimes have a lot of classes that they're dealing with at a time. So make sure that you say what class you're in and the class number. That way they know where you're from and what would be the best way to help you. Keep it simple and to the point. Make sure that your question is stated clearly so that professor doesn't have to read through a lot to get to the issue of what you're reaching them out for. I know that a lot of the times, you want to add a lot of extra stuff, but remember that professors are busy with school, their own work, and a lot of other, classes. So make sure that if you want to get the help that you need as fast as you can, be sure to be to the point. And then once you're finally done with the email, make sure that, you sign off respectfully. You can use best, sincerely, or respectfully, and then your name. I used to put my Bronco ID just so it would be easy for them to find me as a student. But that's just a couple of personal tips. But yeah. And then we can move on. So yeah, so a couple of email etiquette continued, use a clear subject line. So this is a perfect example of what a clear subject line looks like. So, the student was in psychology 3305, section 1, her name is Gina, and then question about the midterm exam. When you open up your email, this is what you see first. So if a professor sees first, they'll be able to see that this is important, and they will be able to go, answer your question as soon as they can. Always keep it professional. Many professors are doctors in their field. So make sure that you don't use any slang or abbreviations. Make sure you speak as a complete professional. Use complete sentences. And in order to ensure that it gets to them and that they're able to see it, make sure that you send it via the CPP Outlook email, which is just your cpp.edu email that we all have. And then, yeah, so this is just, I know it's a bit blurry, but this is an example, you know, I found it last year of what not to do. So this is an example. So it says, hey, I'm in your class this semester, but I have missed the first 4 days due to some unexpected problems with work with my family. I would like to make up the work. If you can send me the syllabus and all the handouts, thank you. And also if I missed important info, we will be needing the book this semester because I am on a budget. LOL, thanks. So this is a clear example of what not to do. And yes, it's exaggerated a bit, but you know, let's make sure that, you know, we're not, any of these qualities we're not having. And I know all of us are, you know, good professional students and that we won't do this. But this is just, you know, an exaggerated example of what not to do. But
And I know
go
it may
ahead.
sound a little bit funny, but even us as advisors, you know, we get the same type of email. I remember recently getting an email from a student just telling me, hey, can you please call me? And so, you know, that was the email. And so I didn't have a phone number to call back the student. And so always provide as much detail as Alex was explaining to all of you.
Yeah. So then this is a good example of a proper email to a professor of just the body, right? So it says, Dr. Toswell, my name is Jessica, DA, and I am from section 1 of your old English course on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. After looking over the syllabus last night, I noticed that the deadline for our final essay is listed as March 7th, which is a Monday. However, in the class, the deadline was noted as being on a Thursday, March 10th. I don't mean to bother you, but I wanted to verify the correct deadline so that I can appropriately organize my schedule and turn in my assignment on time. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Best regards, Jessica DA. This is a perfect example of what to do. One thing that I really like that the student did here is that they said what time their class is, because I know that a lot of professors, that's how they organize their classes and that's how they know what they're talking about. They say which class, what time their class meets, and you know, what would be the best way to, and that's one of the best ways to get to help your professor know what you're talking about. So this is a perfect example. If you're trying to copy something, copy this. This is a perfect example of how to communicate with your professor.
Okay, so virtual office hours. So obviously this is the new way that we're doing things, right? So you would visit your professor during their virtual hours. These hours are available for you to get help or ask questions. So some reasons to visit a professor's virtual office hours are when you may be struggling in the course or class material. So it's best to talk to your professor early on or as soon as you need help understanding tough material or difficult concepts. The second bullet, establishing a professional relationship. So a professional relationship with your professor can help you down the line. So you will benefit from mentoring and get more guidance when it comes time to applying for grad school. The third bullet, so it says discuss grades on assignments. So if you want to determine your status in the class, this is a great opportunity to visit your professor. You should check your final grades at the end of the semester and make sure it looks accurate. It's possible to make errors. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened here. Hold on a minute.
I can pull up the slideshow if you want me to, Maria. Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Okay, so as I was saying, so discuss grades on assignments. Can everyone see that?
Let me go ahead and share. Sorry. We were at right here?
Okay, sorry. No, we were on virtual office hours.
There we go.
The one before that.
There you go.
Okay, so as I was saying, so discuss grades on assignments. So you should check your final grades at the end of the semester just because sometimes there may be some inaccuracies. So it's possible for professors to also make some errors. And then you may want to go back and check the assignments and the points and be able to discuss that with them. So it's actually the previous slide, Alex.
Sorry.
So the other thing is seeking professional or career advice. So your professor has a lot of knowledge. If you are a junior or a senior, you can learn more about your professor's education and background by making time to ask them about how they got into their field. Many professors have also worked in the field they teach, so they can give you tips on the skills that are needed for the type of work you may want to do later on. Seeking research opportunities. So several professors have research labs. Make sure you visit their bio page or the department faculty page to read about experience in the field that they studied. The last bullet is overcoming obstacles. So if you have concerns about passing the course or don't think that you can continue attending the semester, you can meet with your professor to find a solution. You'd be surprised how many times I also have to talk to students about, just things that are going on during the semester. And your professors are the best person to go to when you are running into any type of issue. They'll help you come up with some type of plan. So virtual office hours, where can you find this information? So you should be able to find this on the class syllabus. So everyone should have gotten one for each of their courses, right? The other place that you could potentially find this is on Blackboard. So tips, if you don't know these hours by now, it's really important for you to find out. So you may want to email your professor, you may want to visit their office hours just so that you can find out the best time to meet with them. If current virtual office hours don't work with your schedule, you may email the professor asking for an appointment. Let's be honest, everyone has busy schedules. Maybe their office hours conflict with maybe one of your classes. So make sure that you are emailing them to ask for an actual appointment. And if your professor does send you a Zoom link or agrees to a phone appointment, you want to make sure that you show up and that you're on time. Always come prepared with questions you would like to ask. If you are nervous, write your questions down so that you don't forget them. Sometimes I tell students, if you are really that nervous, just come and meet with one of the class student success center advisors, or you can always chat with Alex, our ambassador, and then we're happy to give you tips and suggestions on how to approach your meeting with them. And then I just wanted to say one more thing. I do want to say that your professors are genuinely interested in helping you and seeing you succeed. So they can't read your mind. And so it's your job to really go to them when you're struggling. If you do send your professor an email, sometimes you'll find out that, they won't get back to you the same day. Sometimes it may take them an extra day to get back to you. So if that does happen, just be patient and then just resend your email to them. So these are some of the sample questions that you can ask during your office hours. So these are just, do you have any tips on how to best study or prepare for the exam? Are you willing to review a draft of my paper before turning in the final product? Can you help me better understand the concept we discussed in class last week? Do you have advice on how to improve my writing? And then finally, can we go over the questions I missed on the exam? Now, this may be an important thing to do just because sometimes exams or like midterms or finals can be cumulative. Sometimes you'll see some of the material from previous quizzes or exams on the final. So you want to make sure you're clear on any concepts that you don't understand.
Yeah, so the next thing that we want to talk about is letter of a recommendation. So, at one point we're all going to be in this boat. I'm currently in that boat right now. I'm applying to, schools. I'm graduating this year. So I'm looking towards professors that I've built a relationship throughout my last 4 years and asking them to, write me a letter of recommendation. So, the best way to ask for a letter of recommendation is to ask them to make an appointment with them through email or in person, or visit them, well, in person, obviously not anymore, but, visit them through email or a virtual visit via Zoom. And, it's good to give them a nice heads up through email. So, they'll know that you're arriving to their office hours. Check if they have posted a letter of rec policy on their website. I know that a lot of professors, like, in order to get a letter of recommendation from them, they ask, that you have gotten, you've taken multiple classes with them, that you've gotten a good grade in those classes. So make sure that you know that, just so you're prepared in case they ask you for anything. Which leads me into my next point is to, be prepared. Bring your resume, draft your personal statement, table or document all the programs that you plan on applying for and what information, and just have all the information about the deadline and why you want to attend that specific program. And just another tip, Cal Poly Pomona has a really diverse group of professors from schools all over the country. So, if you let's say you really want to go to UCLA and you want for grad school and you have a professor who went to UCLA for grad school, they might be a good resource to have, just because, they've been through that already. They're an alumni, so their letter of rec might weigh a little bit more heavily than others. But yeah, so letters of recommendation, they're important. We're all going to be in that boat one day. And, continue. It's best, and as I was saying this, it's best to pick a faculty that you truly know, that truly knows you and that you truly know them. Like I said, the professors that you've built a relationship with, maybe you've taken a professor, you've taken a professor's class more than one time. More than one time, you've participated in research projects with them, you've gone on trips with them. These are the professors to go to ask for. I know that the professors I'm asking to write my letter of recommendations are professors that I've built relationships with, coursework, thesis, school trips, organizations, clubs, so those are the people who are going to be able to write the best letter of recommendation for you, which will give you the best possibility, to get into that grad school that you want. Yeah, but how do you discuss this with the professor you were just getting to know? So if you're interested in eventually going to grad school, express that with them. So as I assume many of you guys are first year transfer students, and you don't have that solid foundation with professors. So this is where you start. Go to office hours. You don't have to go to office hours with a specific question about a class. You can go, like Maria alluded to earlier, you can talk to them about anything career-wise. So if you really want to know, if you're a sociology major and you want to know what a master's in sociology like, if you're a psychology major and you want to know what a doctorate program in psychology is, you can go to your professor's office hours and kind of discuss, how their career went, what their career trajectory was, what classes they took, how the application process was for them, and you can start building that relationship with them. You can ask them about their experience, and you can talk to them about your academic interests. And I didn't know what I wanted to go to grad school in until like my third year. So it's okay if you don't have those academic. It's okay if you don't know what your own personal academic interests are. It's okay if you don't know what grad school program you want to go into. But I know that personally, I benefited a lot from being able to talk to these professors and getting to hear what they went through, getting to hear what their experience was like and what they were able to do after they achieved those degrees is what helped me kind of zone in on what I wanted to do. So, make sure you're building that relationship with those professors. And it all starts with communicating with them properly. An email can go a long way to making sure that they have a good impression of you, which can go a long way and which could ultimately lead you to getting a good letter of recommendation for grad school. So yeah, be sure to mold that relationship.
And then I wanted to add one more thing to this, Alex. I wanted to say that if you right now don't have like a resume, we do have the Career Center available for you. You can make an appointment with someone there. They have grad students, they have professional staff. You can create a draft and go in there or make a virtual appointment with them, and they'd be happy to review that for you so that when you meet with a professor, you're bringing something to them as well for grad school.
Yeah, that's a great point. We have a lot of resources at Cal Poly Pomona that really can help you go a long way.
And a lot of times students think, Alex, that they have to go their senior year to go seek out help or to get help with from the Career Center. But the truth is that you should be seeking out services now, as a freshman, sophomore, or junior.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm having some technical difficulties. Sorry, Maria.
It's okay.
Are you still on the same slide that we ended on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop the share and start again. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, we can have them all right now.
Or the next screen, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know what, my computer just froze up on me. Zoom gives us new issues every day.
Yes, we are still always navigating and learning, just like all of you. So it's okay though. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen.
Thank you, Maria.
We'll get into where we were right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so let's see, we were here. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk next about how do I build a good professional relationship with my professor? So this is an important question, right? So you wanna make sure that you introduce yourself after the first class. And so I know that right now it's difficult because we are in a virtual environment, but you can still do this now. You can do this by sending a short email after the first Zoom meeting or visiting office hours. By doing this early on in the semester, you will feel more comfortable if you have questions later on. You want to look up your professor online. There's so much information about your professors in different places. So whether it's like LinkedIn or the department page, you can find just more information about who they are, like I said, their education and kind of their interest. You want to make participation a priority. So one of the ways that you can do this is to be active, right? For some of the courses that you're taking that are synchronous courses that have Zoom meetings, you want to be mindful of being visible by having your camera on. I mean, that's a good way for you to be able to show that you're participating, that you're active. I know that professors really like that when they can see their students. For courses that are asynchronous, these are the ones that are just fully online, you can show your presence in discussion boards and take advantage of office hours. You want to be courteous and respectful. You want to at least attend 2 to 3 office hours. I mean, these hours are there for you. Sometimes I've heard from professors that like students don't show up, they never go visit them. So you want to make sure that you are keeping that in mind. Maybe you introduce yourself in the beginning, maybe you do a check-in in the middle of the semester, and maybe you come by towards the end of the semester. Make sure they understand your professional goals. So more so for students that are juniors and seniors, for the professors that are teaching the subjects that you eventually want to study later on or go into that field of work, you want to make sure that they understand that you eventually want to become, like, let's say, a social worker or a psychologist, and have that connection with them. You want to make sure that you get a good grade in the class. And a good grade for me, I would say you want to at least try to get a B or an A, and then I think that they'll remember you. You want to ask for a letter of recommendation after the class. So this is, again, something where you would want to schedule an appointment with them, bring your resume and request that from them. And then finally, stay in touch with them. So stay in touch with faculty that teach in your major. They may know about scholarships, work opportunities, internships, and other resources to help you throughout your time at CPP. And then just some quotes to inspire you to try something new. I know that it can be very challenging to, if you've never met with one of your professors, this is very, it can be you can get very nervous at first. But I do want to tell you, above all, try something. That's by Franklin Roosevelt. The other one is do or do not. There is no try. And then the last one is move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you are willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try something new. And then just finally, if anyone has any questions or wants to ask us anything. Do we have any questions in the chat?
No, just not from the initial responses. But yeah, so kind of to recap, it's super important. Oh, let me see. How can we make an appointment with you or Alex if needed? So to make an appointment with the counselors, with the advisors, you can go through CPP Connect. If you just type in Google CPP Connect, it'll bring you to that website, and you sign in with your Bronco ID, and you just make an appointment with the next available advisor to talk about any issues or academic items that you want to discuss. For me, it's a bit easier. I have office hours that they're posted on the class, or I believe you all got an email. To get into contact with me, I can help you with academic planning. So if you need help picking your classes, if you want to know how to read your degree progress report, if you kind of want to plan out your 4 years here at Cal Poly, we can help you create a My Planner, which is essentially, it's like a list of all the classes that you're going to take at Cal Poly. And we just, we try to help you in academic planning the best we can. So I have office hours every day, and I'm more than happy to meet with all y'all and help you. Yeah, so feel free to come to my office hours. It probably depends on the career, but how important are letters of rec for things like going into a master's program? So Julissa, I'm going into a master's program. I'm hoping to go into a master's program right now. So I'm hoping to get into a master's of public policy program right now. And I know that for social science and for a lot of other, for social science in general, letters of rec go a long way. I know that, just talking to my friends throughout the last couple of years who have gone to like masters in psychology, masters in sociology, even masters in music, I know that letters of rec show a long way because it's a good way of showcasing how you are as a student, and it gives the admissions counselors, a good kind of perspective of how you look to a professor, and it'll help determine how successful you'll be in that program. So I would say that I think regardless of the career path you go on, letters of rec for social sciences are, extremely important. So it's good to build those extremely important and extremely influential in the admission process. So I would say if you have the opportunity to build relationships with professors, go for it. And yeah, then Maria, I don't know if you wanted to add anything onto that.
Yeah, I mean, letters of recommendation, some programs are very competitive. I know I've done 2 grad programs already. I have a master's in counseling and I did a public administration. And so, they're trying to, when you're going into these programs, they're trying to figure out, are you prepared academically? Can you write papers? How do you present in classes right now? Because that's a lot of what you're going to be doing in grad school. So I would say pick 1 or 2 professors now and start building those relationships. it's good to check in with them every semester. That way, when the time comes and you're requesting that letter, they're happy to work with you.
Yeah. And I just put my email in the chat if anybody wants to like set up an appointment so we can, you don't need an appointment, but if you just want to give me a heads up that you're coming in that way so I can, get ready. If you want to like, plan out your classes or anything, just want to advice on Cal Poly, your class in general. I've been working with the office, with the Student Success Center for 3 years now. So I'm pretty, I'll be able to help with a couple stuff. So yeah, just feel free.
I think we just sent the email yesterday regarding your office hours, right, Alex? So
Yeah,
everybody got in that email. There's a PDF flyer that you can click on, and it has a lot of information about his hours. Definitely
yeah,
take advantage of that.
yeah. So I think you all should have it. I think you all will be able to have it today. Oh, sorry. You all got the email. And so, yeah, so just check your emails for office hours. My Zoom link is there and you should be able to check in with me if anything.
Well, hopefully everyone learned something new today. Even if, you just learn one new thing every day, then that matters. So thank you all for being here today and for making time.
Yes. Thank you to all.
Okay.
Thank you. And we'll be creating more workshops like this. So just check out your emails for more academic success workshops coming your way. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
I think that went well.